we're going to talk about conditional statements. Okay? And a conditional statement is pretty much this. I want everybody to listen. Listen. Okay? A conditional statement is this. You have a statement and it has a condition on it. So I'll give you this. I go down to AT&T. Okay? AT&T says this. We'll give you 3 free phones if you'll buy 1. Okay, that's conditional, isn't it? I don't get those 3 free phones unless I buy what?
The first one.
Unless I buy the first one, correct?
So how they free if you got
Okay,
trouble?
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a made up story, Jada. It
No, but
doesn't
that's
exist.
true. Like
Okay?
Metro,
But see, that's a condition, okay? That's a condition, okay? If I pay my light bill, then my lights stay on, right? That's a conditional statement. There are conditions on it. So in mathematics, we have conditional statements, and they're easy to find because in a conditional statement, it is a statement that has the words if and then. Okay? So, I'll read this. If you buy this cell phone, then you will receive 1 for half price. That is a conditional statement. It has the word if, and it has the word then. If you have a sentence that has if and then, that is a conditional statement. Okay? Now let's break it down even further. We look at this first part. Y'all see where that comma is? That's the break in the sentence. Okay? That's where the then starts. So we look at this first part of this. If you buy this cell phone, that is called the hypothesis. This is called the hypothesis. Sounds like science, don't it?
no, it's something more like a little English, but yeah.
Okay? Hypothesis. In mathematical terms, we define hypothesis as P. Okay? P. The second part of this sentence says, then you will receive 1 for 1/2 price. This is called the conclusion. In mathematical terms, we define conclusion as Q. Conditional statements in mathematics are said to be if P, then Q. Or P implies Q. You need to know this right here, if anything. This is the if, this is the then. It's always the if. P is always the if. Q is always the then. Okay? Because tomorrow, I'm going to twist it on you. I'm going to go Q implies P. Or I'm going to say not P, not Q. Or I'm going to say not Q, not P. Okay? So you're going to have to know what P and Q mean. P is the hypothesis. Q is the conclusion. Okay? We'll get into that later. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go over here to these sentences over here. We're going to identify what the hypothesis is, and we're going to identify what the conclusion is. So, we're going to underline the hypothesis in this sentence. If x is an even number, then x is divisible by 2. What is the hypothesis? If what?
It's
This whole thing is what?
hypothesis.
The hypothesis. If x is an even number, is the hypothesis. So, the hypothesis is the if statement. Okay? The conclusion in this sentence is what? Then x is divisible by 2. That would be the conclusion. Okay? So this is P and this is Q. How hard is that? See, this is real simple, isn't it? Bet somebody tries to make it hard today. Yes, ma'am.
Why do you have your cues like that?
I don't know. Okay, in this next sentence, if you eat breakfast is known as a what?
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. This is the hypothesis. What's the conclusion in this sentence? Then you will what?
Feel better.
This whole thing is the conclusion.
I don't feel better.
That whole thing is the conclusion. Nobody cares.
Oh my God.
How
Okay?
disrespectful.
Yes, I'm very.
And you
So-
make a video on YouTube?
So this is the then statement, after. Okay, so let's look at number 3. Let's write, you want to talk about disrespectful? You want to talk about disrespectful? Really?
I just put my finger
Uh-huh.
on the
So let's write a conditional statement for all cats chase mice.
If
So I want you to listen to me. This is gonna be a learning experience. If I just add if and then in that sentence, it ain't gonna make sense, is it? If all cats, then chase mice. Does that make even any sense?
No.
So you might have to change and add some things to make it make sense, and that's okay. So I would add this. If an animal is a cat, then it chases mice. That's what I would say. So if an animal is a cat, comma, then it chases mice. It's all right to add words as long as they make sense and they don't change the outcome. Okay? Here we go. Change this to a conditional statement. Every dog has 4 legs. Say it.
If every dog has 4 legs, that makes it an animal. That's what I was saying.
If
No.
every dog has 4 legs,
If
then it
this
makes it
pet,
an animal.
if this pet has 4 legs, then it's a
No,
dog.
use those words.
No, you have to put it in the order that it's
Every
in.
dog has 4 legs.
Every dog has 4 legs.
Every dog
Every
has
dog
4
has-
legs.
legs.
What?
Say it. Say it again.
If every dog has 4 legs and they walk on those legs.
You adding too many.
I'm adding things that I don't need to add.
Every dog don't
Every
have
dog.
four
Hey,
legs.
how about this? How about this? See,
I mean, did you put?
see, it's about right. It's about writing. It's about making sense. Listen to me.
You can't even think of
Yeah, I
one.
can. I just don't want to have to use the same words.
Every dog.
So here we go. You ready? I'm going to use the same words. If an animal is a dog, then it has 4 legs.
I said that.
I said that.
Okay?
Oh.
If an animal is a dog, that's great. If y'all said that I didn't hear it, I apologize. There's no reason to get mad at me.
Right, tell them, don't be mad. Sweetie.
If an animal is a dog,
Then it has 4
Then
It
legs.
has
has
4
4
legs.
What did you put on the legs?
I got 4
we're
legs.
fixing to get to that.
I'm not one of them.
I'm not one of them.
Okay? So it's about adding if and then. That's all you're doing. Hypothesis, conclusion. Does everybody understand? That's all you're doing today. Finding the hypothesis, finding the conclusion. And then the next thing is this. So let's look at this a minute. So if an animal is a dog, then it has 4 legs. Is that a true statement?
No.
Yes.
If an animal is a dog,
Oh, no,
then it has 4 legs.
Nope.
Is that true?
no.
Okay, why is it not true?
My uncle dog got 2
I can
legs.
cut off a leg. I've seen a 3-legged dog before.
Haven't we all?
Okay?
My uncle dog got
So
2
this is not necessarily always a true statement, right? Right? What about this one? If an animal is a cat, then it chases mice. Well, I've had a cat that don't chase mice. I've had a cat that just lays there or plays with the mice.
Cats are
Okay?
stupid.
So this is not necessarily always a true statement. So when I can give an example of something that is not true, that is called a counter example. Let me give you a conditional statement. Here we go. If the sky is blue, then apples are pink. Is that false or true?
False.
That's false. Why is it false?
Cause apples are not pink.
Because apples are not pink, because apples are what?
Green.
Red, green, or yellow. Okay?
Yellow apples.
Yes,
Oh,
they're called gala apples.
sleep, hey.
Green is mint apples is the
Okay?
best.
Listen.
What? Green?
Red apples are good.
So, the counterexample to that statement would be this: a red apple, a green apple, or a yellow apple. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So sometimes you might be asked to give a counterexample to the conditional statement. Okay, counterexample, if an animal is a dog, then it has 4 legs, might have 3 legs, that would be the counterexample. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, does anybody have any questions?